Hello and welcome. I'm just getting to grips with everything, so just bear with me a second, guys. I need to check that you can hear me. Okay, so welcome everybody. I hope you can all hear me okay. Please mention in the chat if you can't hear me. Welcome to today's spiritual therapy. My name is Sam, and I am hoping that lots of you are going to join me throughout the summer as we talk about lots of spiritual matters, connecting with my guides. So, as a direct channel, I can give you some answers to questions and queries that you may have that relates to spiritual matters that will help you and the collective. So, I have been a natural channel for my entire life. Sometimes it's been really prominent and other times not. I've had many times, especially when I've had children, where I've had to kind of take a step back and focus on my family. But those underlying psychic and mediumship channel gifts have always been there. I've also been a healer for many, many years, 25 years or more. So do have lots of experience in connecting with both my guides, reading for other people and doing healings for people. So my skill set, I suppose, is quite wide, and I'm hoping that for the next half an hour, I can be here for you guys, whether that's because we need to do some reading for the collective, bringing out some cards, doing some meditation and grounding, whether we need to do some direct questions with regards to what's going on in the world and energetically. That's kind of what the hope was when I discussed doing this with the Den. So, as a teacher and facilitator for the Den meditation, I do weekly sessions of Reiki and Seikим. Well, Seikim is ancient Egyptian healing, and it entwines really well with Reiki. And these energies are able to shift, clear, balance, heal on lots of different levels. And as I am shamanically trained as well, I can also work in different dimensions and consciousness to bring some healing to those that require it. So I know that since the pandemic, life has been quite tough for many people, including myself. I'm no different to anybody else. The energy has been quite erratic and unsettled. And as I'm reading for people and doing healings, especially this year, really, as we've come out of the pandemic, there are a lot of people feeling really anxious, really worried and concerned about what their next step is, because life feels very, very different. There's a lot of anxiety and a lot of fear that has been created and that we've all picked up and felt, especially those of you that may be feeling quite empathic. And a lot of people are experiencing psychic abilities that are beginning to open up. So whether this is a deepening of intuition that you already had, or new things are beginning to happen, it's a little unsettling. And I've also found that a lot of people are finding that they no longer feel as if they can fit in the job and work that they were doing beforehand. So there's a big crossover of people stepping forward into the unknown and knowing what to do with their lives, and also how to go about doing that. So it was my wish, really, to be here and offer half an hour at the moment, who knows how long it will be, over the coming weeks, to kind of reach out to people, see if I can help, offer advice. Now, a lot of the sessions are going to be on a collective basis. If you have personal questions that you would like me to focus in on, you can contact through the Den, doing some private one-to-one sessions with me. However, for this half an hour, it is going to be more kind of information and collective healing for everybody that everybody can tune into in one way or another. So if you do have some questions, the chat bar is up. I can see all the questions coming in. And there is also a free week with the Den, so you can catch some of my classes and some of the other amazing teachers and sessions that we have going on there. So please have a look at the Den meditation, because it's awesome what they've done and what they've created there. It's a real hive and a real community of like-minded people. So I can see there's a few people watching. If there are any questions, please feel free to pop your question into the box and I will try and answer it. So the answering of the questions is going to be via my spiritual team. So although if on a healing basis it's something I can answer, I obviously will do. But my team and my channels in spirit are here to give advice as well. They're here to support and help you in whatever way that they can. I think it's really super important at this time, while a lot of people are feeling uncomfortable, as the ascension of humanity and Mother Earth moves forward at this time, to practice a lot of self-care. So that might sound really easy, but many of us, including myself at times, really forget to do this. So taking time out for yourself, and whether that's within a spiritual practice or not, but taking care of your body, your mind, and your emotions is super important right now. The energy is fluctuating as the ascension increases. It seems to be going at rather a fast rate. And, you know, some of us are pedaling like crazy underneath, trying to keep up with those kind of energies. So making sure simple things like you're keeping well hydrated, you're eating well, you're taking some quiet time out, spending time really out in the sunshine are really, really important. So we've had one question come in, and that's a really, really good question. And so unless you've not seen the question, I'll read it to you. How long do you think before the collective starts to feel like things are moving in a more positive, less fear-based direction? I think this is going to depend very much on yourself and your own place in the world within this. It kind of feels, my guides show me that the energy of the world is kind of being separated very much from 3D materialistic kind of place to a more spiritual and love based situation. So I think it's really hard for all of us to step out of that fear, but also, you know, how do we do that? So whether you are somebody that's worked on yourself and worked on your own kind of healing journey, your own fears, that will also take kind of into account where you're going to end up in all of this. Now, most of us obviously want to move into a world where the energy is going to be one more of peace, more of connection, of belonging. And I think we've all spent so much time living in a world where that connection and that belonging, the community connection with the earth, has disappeared. And that's what we're trying to bring back. So the answer my guides are giving me is very much based on humanity and how we step up. And by taking care of yourself and your family is the first point of call, because if every household took care of themselves in a more spiritual and loving way, that's all we need to focus on. It can be quite overwhelming, wondering how we can help and how we can help the world to step forward into the embrace of this beautiful life that we all envisage. But it's too overwhelming. So the advice for that is to just take care of you and your household, making sure that again you are looking after yourself, you're working through your fears, you're trying to leave that in the past. Because what they tell me, what they're showing me right now, is that most of us at the moment are stood in a bit of a void between the old and the new. And once we step into the new, that's when the energy will calm down. And I feel that the next sort of 6 to 18 months is going to change very, very quickly. So timescales are very difficult, always a difficult question, whether you're reading for somebody or whether you are doing a collective reading such as this, because there's a lot depends on it, obviously. But I feel that the next 6 to 18 months are going to be super important, and how we keep ourselves grounded, how we meditate, and how we connect with other people within our small circle and on a larger circle. So I think there's still a lot more work to do, but we're all doing our best, and I am reassured that we are seen. Our guides and our ancestors know how difficult things are at this moment in time. Um, and it is a bit of a struggle. So, attending things like meditation circles, um, and doing your own spiritual practice, and that doesn't have to be meditation. I think there's a little bit of a confusion there that all spiritual practice is meditation based. And while that's super empowering, that isn't always the way for everybody. Being mindful, living life a little bit at a slower pace, and being connected with yourself. Many of us have spent so much time being disconnected and disassociated, um, that it's really difficult to kind of step back into the body and be really present. But practice being mindful is the way forward, and stepping into that kind of realm where we take back our power, whether we are male or female. Many of us have been disempowered through this lifetime and many other lifetimes. And I think it's really important to kind of step back into our power in a non aggressive way and just bring love to all situations that we can. So, just looking at some more questions. Um, so the next question is, how can women deal with toxic masculinity now ruling the world? Well, I think that again depends on your belief system. I think there's many women as well that can appear in a masculine form in their empowerment and feel like they're ruling the world as well. I think we need to just focus on ourselves. My guides tell me we need to just focus on us, focus on ourselves, um, because we can't always change everything, and it's overwhelming to think that we can. And yes, there's times that we all think that we all need to group together and challenge these, and I'm not saying that there isn't a place for that, but from a spiritual basis, I believe, and what my guides tell me, is you can't fight toxicity with toxicity. So there's no point trying to win a war with war. For me and my spiritual beliefs, and we're all entitled to our own beliefs, this is my personal belief that um, things need to come from a place of love to make the change. And I think that by loving ourselves, our family, and those around us is the first simple step, um, and that will create a ripple effect, because whenever we heal ourselves and whenever we make a change in our own life, that has a ripple effect to lots of other situations that are taking place in the world, let alone healing our ancestors and healing things for our children. So focusing on you and your empowerment, and envisaging, thought is such a powerful thing. Just being able to envisage how this beautiful world should be lived in companionship and community and belonging with both the cycles of the earth, with each other, can be so powerful. So, focusing on that rather than the toxicity is likely to bring more change. So, thank you for that. Again, another really good, valid point. Um, I have another question here. People have been saying that I need to rest. It's hard to find the balance between knowing whether it's time to work hard or to really rest. And how can you discern which or where you're supposed to be in all of that? Again, fantastic question. So, this comes from knowing yourself really well. There isn't a time schedule, unfortunately. I wish I could download a time schedule for everybody as to what would be the greatest balance. But because we're all so different, that's obviously quite an impossible thing. But it comes from being in a place of being mindful again and knowing yourself, your emotional body, your emotional energy, your physical body really well, to know how far you can be working and when you do need to rest. Rest is extremely important. This past 3 years have taken its toll, and fatigue is the uppermost complaint most people have at this moment. Feeling uncomfortable, feeling anxious, feeling fear, and then feeling so tired that really they've not really got the energy. So, again, bring it in. Bring that energy in, keep your energy grounded. And not everybody has got the time to be doing exercise every day that's full pelt. Being outside for half an hour when you wake up in the morning is going to change your life. Something really simple, getting some balance in your circadian rhythm, getting up when the sun is there, feeling the sun on your skin. Simplicity, I think, is the key. And listening to your body. If you feel tired, you can't just not go to work. I get that. If you are self-employed, maybe there is, ability to shift things around. But for many people who work 40 or more hours a week, who have to go to a job, it's about trying to find the balance of where you can rest in the evening, but also receive healing. So whether that's, like I said, from going outside, having a swim in the ocean, doing some mindfulness for a few minutes and being present with what you're doing, those kind of things can make a really big difference. Taking care of what food you eat. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not here to advise anybody on what food to eat, but just taking care of your diet and being, again, mindful of the things that you're putting in your body. There are lots of many natural supplements. I am a medical herbalist in the UK, so working with plant medicine can also be something that can be really supportive, which leads me on to the next thing about making sure you do have support around you and talking to people, which is partly the reason I wanted to do this, and give people somewhere where they can ask questions if they maybe don't have anywhere else to ask them, especially if you're going through some kind of spiritual awakening and you feel confused by the energies and the things that are happening to your body. Maybe you're seeing things or hearing things that you don't quite understand. I think it's important to have somebody you can reach out to and say, what's going on? What does this mean? A lot of my spiritual journey has been alone, so I know how confusing things can be. If that's happening to you, one of the biggest things you can do for yourself is journal. Write things down. Now, that doesn't mean to say you have to spend hours writing down how you feel every day, but what it can do is show you patterns in your behavior. They can show you patterns in what's happening energetically or in astrology to how you feel, and you might begin to see some patterns. So, say, for example, new moon, full moon, they can have a big effect on how we're feeling. They can affect your mood, your fatigue, whether you feel like eating or not eating. So again, journaling how you feel, what you've done that day, just quick bullet points if you're not somebody who likes to write, any spiritual activations that you feel that you're going through. So I had a client the other day saying that this past sort of 6 to 18 months, she's beginning to hear voices. It didn't always make sense. Sometimes she was half asleep. She wasn't sure if it was dreams. So journaling those kind of things, you might then be able to go back after you've been doing it for a little while and see that, oh, wow, there's a pattern that it only happens when there's a full moon, or that only really happens when I'm really stressed. And it could be your ancestors or guides coming in to support you. So I think reaching out to people, finding local groups around you, talking to your friends or your family if you're able to, and knowing that during this time, in this huge period of ascension and change, as the world seems to be crumbling around our ears a lot of the time, you're not alone. A lot of this energy, um, we're all feeling, and it's uncomfortable and it can make you feel quite vulnerable. So know that you're not alone, and many other people are feeling that way, and we need to come together. We need to support each other. Okay, another lovely question there. How can I get more connected to my own guides? So one wonderful way is to sit in meditation if you're able to meditate easily. So to sit in some quiet time, again, have a notebook and a pen with you, and being able to kind of just quiet the mind. You can set an intention. I'd like to know who my spirit guides are, um, and take the first kind of things that come to mind. There are lots of meditations that you can connect with on YouTube or on lots of different apps, or you can book appointments through the den. I can do guidance with regards to things like that. But for self, it's about going within and making a connection to your team, setting that intention. Everything that you do comes from intention, and it's so powerful what our thoughts are and what our intention is, that if you are on a journey where you think, gosh, I'd really love to know who my guides are or my power animals, by just knowing that you have that intention, they're going to try and guide you to connect with them even more. And with everything that's going on, I think it's really special and really important at this moment in time to know that we're supported from higher dimensions, and we're not kind of stranded down here, cycling through the mud and confusion of what's going on. Um, so that is another good way to help you feel more balance. And maybe over these coming weeks, we can do a quick journey. If that seems to be something that a lot of people want to do, I would be happy to do a quick guidance to help you connect with your guides, your angels, and your power animals, to bring you a deeper connection to your own spiritual practice. And it may be that you also have family that are able to step into that role as guide to help you move forward. So again, there's lots of things you can be doing to help yourself in this confusion. If you're feeling the pull to change your work, you don't know, you feel satisfied. A lot of people are feeling bored and needing either a bigger challenge or needing something that's more restful and basic, rather than the stress of working so many hours for something that doesn't feel very meaningful, and you're wanting to do more meaningful work. Then again, this is something that can be explored. There are again, lots of things that you can be doing for yourself in that respect, and again, that can be something that you can find out through a reading. And one thing I say to people is, if you're feeling dissatisfied within your work at the moment, look at when you was a child. What was it that you wanted to do when you were young? And what makes you feel excited and full of joy? Because quite often, what makes us feel excited, and the things that um, we had ideas that we wanted to be and do when we were children, are things that we should really be doing with our lives. So again, going within and being able to connect with that energy, to help us move forward if we're struggling with work at the moment. Um, have anybody got any other questions? We've answered 2 or 3. Just looking around and waiting to see. Obviously, this is the first week of doing this. We're kind of hoping that we're going to get more and more viewers asking questions instead of me just rambling on with it all for you. Okay. So I thought what might be really nice to finish off is do a quick grounding technique, because being grounded is super important. So if you want to join in with this quick grounding technique, Okay, just bear with me 1 second. We will do that. With regards to physical health, again, I think that focusing on making sure you're eating well, you're staying hydrated, you're getting plenty of rest and plenty of sun and fresh air. Making things as simple as possible for yourself, don't overcomplicate things, can help you with the physicality, because there are a lot of physical changes going on. A lot of people experiencing, like I said, fatigue, flu-like symptoms, headaches, nausea. So allowing yourself to go with the flow. Keep a diary of how you feel when you've eaten certain things, or whether you've not drunk much that day. How does it make you feel? By checking in with yourself and keeping yourself accountable, you can then see what's working for you, because lots of us are changing our diet rapidly at the moment. I've definitely found things that I used to be able to eat and drink, I can no longer even stomach. So being mindful, being aware of where you are with that, it will be super important. Okay, one more question. So we might have to do the grounding another time. Let's see how we go. I've been hearing 2024 is the time for soul connections to reunite. Does this resonate? We're definitely moving into that period, most definitely. So the connections of missing parts of our own soul and making connections with other souls is paramount. There's been such an epidemic over centuries, probably, of loss of power, loss of soul. And I think that if everybody were to take part in some kind of soul retrieval, some kind of power retrieval, we would all feel much better. But yes, 2024, I've also been told that by my guides, is going to be a very big year for making those connections with our higher selves and also with other soul connections around us. So I think this is why this year seems to be quite purging. A lot is being cleared to kind of clear the way, ready for what's coming up. So yeah, great question. Thank you for that, Ali. So just make sure that you're keeping yourself grounded throughout of this. So let's just do a very quick 2 minute. I would normally spend much more time doing this, but to keep yourself grounded, just close down your eyes for a moment. Very important to keep either the bottom of your spine or your feet firmly on the floor. And just close down your eyes and take your attention down to the bottom of your feet and really feel the surface of the floor, or either your spine if you're sat on the floor, connecting with the earth. And as I call upon Mother Earth, I also call upon Archangel Sandalphon and ask that these energies help pull down our energetic field. And you can imagine that growing down from the bottom of your feet is your energy, much like the roots of a tree. Feel it growing down into the soil, down deep into Mother Earth, and really feel that connection with her energy, with her love, and feel your energy from inside your body, your focus, your spirit being gently pulled down through the body into the energy of Mother Earth. You may even see that soil and mud is rising up around your feet as your connection with her grows. Just keep your attention there, feeling the love of Mother Earth. And as your roots grow, they move further down and down, moving through all the soil, the sand, moving through rock and stone, connecting with their own consciousness, moving through pockets of water, until it reaches deep down into Mother Earth. And know that if you are carrying any negative energy, you can let it go now. Release it down to Mother Earth. And we ask her to transmute this energy into positivity. as she holds our energy, keeping us grounded, setting the intention that we are grounded. And we give our thanks to Mother Earth for holding our energy, keeping us supported, guided, and strong. And then take a nice deep breath in. So as you bring your awareness back, I'd like to thank you all for joining us today. I'm hoping that these sessions are going to be regular, so bring your questions. Keep a notebook with you all week. Write down your questions so you can bring them to the sessions. We will do some readings. We will do some little bit of meditation, and I'm here for you, hopefully throughout the summer, so we can all be a family and community working through this difficult stage in humanity at this moment in time. I am available through the Den if you want to connect with me for a healing or for guidance and a reading. Just reach out to the Den and they'll take care of that for you. I send you all love and blessings, and hopefully I'll be able to connect with you all again next week. So thank you, everybody. Take care. Have a beautiful weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye.